Millions of dollars worth of cocaine fell from the sky this morning in Knoxville, Tennessee.
There's more of this out there. They dumped it somewhere.
I'm looking for my daughter.
Forest is a dangerous place.
Hey, Henry, check it out. Something got into it. A deer, maybe.
A lot of cocaine was lost. I need you to go and get it.
No, don't eat that, don't eat that.
Let's see what kind of effect that has on us.
The bear. It f***ing did cocaine. A bear did cocaine. Da 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 da.
You sound insane. You realize that? Yeah. The whole world gone crazy. Seriously? It's showtime.
What's going on, Man Fam? It's Richard, it's Brian, it's Ken, it's the whole coked up team here. As you know, we are method podcasters, so we are beaked out of our gourd right now.
In the woods.
In the woods, which that's the hard part for me. The cocaine's no big deal,
Yeah,
but it's
you're good with that part, right?
Yeah.
Right.
No, we're all here. We're all here to talk Cocaine Bear and all that. This is one that's been in the ether for a while, I think, just because the premise... Kind of like, I remember, it's not as absurd as that, but remember, like, I knew about Snakes on a Plane 7 years before it came out, just because
Sure, yeah.
you just kept hearing, like,
Wow,
they're going to
great
do this
comparison. I didn't compare these two. That's a great one.
Like, sometimes the title or things are so out there that, like, they just kind of make their way into the zeitgeist before they've even started filming. This is certainly one. Plus, the kind of production of this with the cast and everything was very social media forward. But yeah, so this is one we've been excited to talk about for a while. We certainly will, but first, I mean, we got a big day here in the Man Fam. We got our big birthday. Brian turns 40 today as we record this on Tuesday, 28th. This will be out some point this week. But happy birthday, buddy.
Thanks, man.
How do you feel? Do your knees hurt more than normal or the same amount?
Well, I mean, that started many years ago,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I mean, it was a normal, I worked. I'm an adult. One of my friends was like, I think you should take a day off. I was like, first of all, can't have all these things that have to get done. That's not a possibility. Number two, I'm an adult, so
Yeah.
I'm not taking the day off for my birthday. Like, that's,
I know. I struggle with that. Yeah. You know, I don't like to shame people. You should be able to enjoy yourself however you want to, but I think
Sure. Yeah.
there is some shame in taking your birthday off, I feel like, as an adult.
So, no, it was a good day. I got we do my team at work. You know, it's the classic. You know, you pick lunch that day, whatever. So, got some hibachi at lunch. Love that. Good times there.
Well, that's awesome, man. Happy birthday!
Thank you.
I threw for those of you not in the VIP. I had a great idea. So if you're in the VIP, Mad About Movies podcast /VIP. If you're not, sign up. You get extra episodes and a big Discord channel with a ton of other Man Fam like you, including us. Oftentimes on our birthday, and Brian's very good about this, and we've tried to be good about it with his, he'll throw a thing out that's like, it's Kent's birthday. And so everyone reply with a bunch of Minions gifts or something. And so we do that, and it's funny, and a bunch of stuff that'll annoy us. For me, maybe like a bunch of Chris Kattan adjacent material, you know? So I thought about that. I was thinking about it last night, like, how am I going to get Brian? And I thought of the worst thing I could do to him to really ruin his birthday would be for everyone to write really sincere, nice things about him. And just say how much they appreciate him and make him feel really uncomfortable.
Real awkward. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
not worthy of praise.
It's the worst thing you could have done. Yeah.
So I said, and a couple of these noobs, these dorks in the VIP, immediately just started sending like movie posters and gifts. Like, no, I'm serious. That will just make him laugh. I want him to be miserable on this day because I'm broken inside. You know, that whole thing. So I was going to read a couple of these on the podcast to double the cringe for you. So, and I've highlighted, I'm not going to read all of them. I just got a few sentences highlighted from some. Superhero Junkie said, "You're one of the few I really connected with when I got on the movie podcast." That's nice. What a guy. Hearing you talk about Coop, Brian's son, and how he's grown up on the pod has also been special. That's really great. Ariel Dean said, "Thanks for being such a positive influence and good friend these years since you started the pod. I'm usually very reserved when I'm using the word friend and tend to keep many at arm's length. But after all the podcast nightmares, sincere texts, and weird pizza nightmare trip to New York City, I'm glad to call you my friend." Man, this Brian Kent, doesn't he sound like a great guy?
I hate this guy.
Highlander says, "I look forward to many more years of your insightful wisdom." Jordan says, thank you for building such a wonderful community. I listened to the pods in 2015. It's so wonderful you've been able to keep that personal community feel as the podcast has grown. Nice guy here. A couple more here. Juiceboxer says, I listen to you as to what is good and what's worth a watch. You've not steered me wrong yet. I'm sure you're getting all the love and compassion you need from your wife and Coop. Have the best day and just don't stop smiling, man. And then lastly, I've got Hannah in HD said, I just want to say how truly thankful I am for your... And I, by the way, I'm kind of Hannah in 4K kind of guy. Mm-hmm. I'm not, I don't HD it.
Yeah.
Time to upgrade your Hannah situation. Mm-hmm. I just want to say how truly thankful I am for you. Your personality and genuine nature stands out. Constantly, I notice your appreciation of humor. Great guy alert. And your particular sense of humor. Man, great guy syndrome. Your authentic and deep care for others. Isn't that true, Ken? He says such an authentic, deep thing. So anyway, and last one here. This one's my favorite. From Darth Roderick. When I started listening to Mad About Movies almost 10 years ago, I never expected that I'd be able to consider one of the hosts of my favorite podcast a friend. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the community that you've helped build here. I didn't know that my wife talked you into making a surprise birthday video for me, and I'd be lying if I said it didn't make me. And then he has a Brian emoji. I'm going to assume that means aroused.
Yeah,
I'm going to think that seems. I'd be lying if it didn't make me aroused.
Mm-hmm.
I go back and replay it often, and when I need a little extra encouragement, that's so nice. And so, anyway, from Kent and I, thank you for these sincere notes, because I know you really mean them, and Brian is a great guy who we love a lot, and that's great. But from Brian, how much do you hate me right now?
So much. This is the meanest thing you could have done, which is perfect. That's how our relationship works.
Good.
Yeah, I told my wife about this afternoon. I was like, gosh, this is, and just made this big deal about how, you knew that earnestness is like the worst thing, and it stresses me out. And then she was like, oh, okay. And then, like an hour later, her and Coop gave me presents, and it was books and a record and stuff. And then this like collection of incredibly nice and earnest things that all my friends and family people have said. Lindsay has spent the last couple of weeks collecting this and putting it together, and so just including you guys. So I got this like spiral bound book of very nice things that people are saying about me, and I'm just like, just crawling.
That's why you've been puking in the bathroom for the past hour.
Yeah, I was wondering why. It's so kind and nice, and everybody is so sweet to share those things. And also, please stop. Now we can go back to bullying.
Yeah. Bully him like he wants.
Yeah, exactly.
Party's over. Time for Cocaine Bear.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Well, happy birthday, buddy. We love you.
Thank you.
And next year's the big one, because that's the Dirk year.
That's the Dirk year. And then it's Suicide Pact. Right.
Well, you got a maxi year after that.
We'll see.
All right. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. All right. Well, we are here to talk Cocaine Bear. Elizabeth Banks's Cocaine Bear, which, as we mentioned, has been on the docket for a long time. Been hearing about it. I don't think I knew. For some reason, I knew like everyone that had been cast in this, when they were cast. I followed the whole thing. It was impossible to be movie online, adjacent and not hear about this. I somehow missed it was Lord and Miller until the credits started. As producers, obviously, not as directors or writers, but I missed that somehow. So that was encouraging to see. We've got a great cast on this. Kerry Russell, Margot Martindale, and Matthew Rhys, an American Reunion. O'Shea Jackson Jr., Alden Ehrenreich, or Ansel Elgort. There's no way to know.
Yeah, no one can know. It's not possible.
And I believe the last performance of Ray Liotta.
Mm-hmm.
So a real interesting cast. I wouldn't say like movie star ridden, but like a lot of very popular, great actors. Mm-hmm. And Kerry Russell should be a movie star.
Yes.
There's no reason why she shouldn't be. So, Ken, I'll throw to you first. What was your level of anticipation for this? Did this seem like kind of pulpy and up your alley, or were you just kind of eye-rolly at the entire idea of it?
I have a soft spot for movies that are kind of purposely bad, that are very self-aware, that go all in on a premise. So I was excited for this, believe it or not, and was excited to go to the theater. We went on Saturday morning. This theater was very packed at 10 a.m. on a Saturday for Cocaine Bear, so that was a bit surprising. I thought I was in the minority on people wanting to get up and go see this, but I'm surprised this was not number one over the weekend, just given the amount of internet buzz, meme stuff going into the weekend. I thought it would make more money. It was well received by critics and all that. Maybe it'll do well in weekend too. And we'll talk about how we feel about the movie in general. But I was very excited for this. When you see the cast list, I mean, this combines the two things you love most, Richard. Mm-hmm. Cocaine and Margot Martindale.
Yep. It's funny because my yearbook quote in 2005 was, "I'm out for two things in this life: cocaine and Margot Martindale, and I'm all out of cocaine." So,
watch out, Margot. Well, I was very excited for this. Seeing people that we really enjoy. We like Alden Ehrenreich. I think we were pro Solo, pro him, pro Hail Caesar, and stuff that he's done. I think he's got potential in movies, and then obviously Elizabeth Banks. One of my observations before we get into movie observations was Elizabeth Banks wanted us to know so bad that she directed this movie. Maybe it's because I follow her on social media, but it was nonstop. That face when you are the one that makes Cocaine Bear and things like that. And the movie opens and it's an Elizabeth Banks film directed by Elizabeth Banks. It was she wants her legacy to be Cocaine Bear, I guess, which is an interesting thing. Yeah. But we'll talk about that a little bit more here in a little bit. But overall, Richard was hyped.
Nice. Brian, what about you?
Yeah, I think if the Man Fam knows anything about me, it's that
you're a sincere and loving father and friend.
I'm a sincere and loving father, number one. Number two, I love bears, the animal. Number three, I love Carrie Russell, the queen of us all. And number four, I love cocaine. So this was a big. I was very excited about this. I think the trailer's kind of perfect. It really shows like. I think I'll say this. I felt like I don't know if this is going to be good. I'm still not totally sure that it's good, but I felt like if it really leans into the identity that I think that it showed in the trailer and doesn't try to be anything more than just stupid fun and over the topness and stuff, then if it really leans into that identity, then this should be a really good time at the movies. And it totally came through on that. I just really love when a good movie or a bad movie, I don't really care, but when that movie has a real true identity and sticks to it. And this thing, for me at least, it very much came through on that. So yeah, I was as hyped as you could be about a movie called Cocaine Bear, I think. And I think that came through. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, I was hyped for this. I mean, I loved all the casting decisions. I thought it's a great, kind of mid-budget, fun movie. It seemed the trailers were underwhelming, but that's okay. That's fine if it doesn't give it a lot away, but it didn't really pop off to me, it didn't have like a hilarious trailer or captivating trailer or anything like that. And, Elizabeth Banks I love her as an actress, and I think she's been a great producer. As a director, it's hard to say. Like, she did Pitch Perfect 2, which I think was obviously a huge financial success, and but it's certainly like she didn't make Pitch Perfect 1, right? So a lot of it's just continue, for a sequel director, sometimes you can put a unique.
She was a producer on the first one, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll do it.
Yeah. And so, not to say she did a bad job with it, it's just like, it's hard to see like that as her vision or anything. And then she did the Charlie's Angels movie, right? Those are the only two things she's done. And that movie was, whatever. It was fine. And but she's, a really interesting, smart Hollywood person who has made a really great career, a really versatile and great career. And she was one of the first kind of leading film actresses to like do comedic TV and stuff with 30 Rock. And she just kind of seems to really know what she's doing. So she's someone I trusted with the kind of whatever the tonal complications of this kind of movie would be. Is it a comedy? Is it a horror? Is it a thriller? Is it a drug escapade? Is it a nature film? Mm-hmm. That's someone, at least given her kind of like acting choices, is someone that's done all those kind of things. So that seemed like a good fit, at least, sensibly. So yeah, I was reasonably excited. And then, I'll go first on kind of, this is the kind of movie I definitely would have just adored 20 years ago. Not to say like I've outgrown it or anything, but like I don't know. This is kind of movie the internet kind of ruins because there's so much kind of pulp and things out there and silliness, and it's really hard to pull off that tone now, I think, because like we're ironied to death in some ways. So it just doesn't hit like this would have hit as a completely original idea in 2005 even, It's certainly, it's not self-serious. It kind of hits everything right. It's 95 minutes, which this kind of movie has to be. I know I harp on that all the time, but like a 2 hour and 10-minute Cocaine Bear would be the worst film of the year in my opinion.
Right.
It just shows like a complete lack. They did not fall into that trap, so that's awesome. Kudos to them on that. And so I wasn't at all bored ever in it, but I never was really like lit on fire by this the way I maybe could have been 10 years ago, 15 years ago, certainly. I was just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, yep, all right, rampage time. The cocaine is hit. All right. It just felt like the feeling when you've been on a lot of roller coasters. I know Brian is a Disney guy. You kind of know the beats of the roller coaster, and you're just like, yeah, this is cool. I'm on it, but I'm not necessarily thrilled like I was the first time. I don't know. That's how I felt. Kent, what about you?
Yeah, maybe you're onto something there about timing and how shock value, it doesn't have as much of an impact as it once had. Maybe we're desensitized to it a little bit too, Richard, just this kind of hyper-violence in a way. So maybe it hits less hard for us than it would in the average person. I liked this overall. I wish the fact that it is rated R and it is literally called Cocaine Bear, and it's not a movie about a cocaine bear that's trying to be like a drama, or anything. Like, that's the movie's Cocaine Bear. Yeah. I wish they had pushed it further. Like, they pushed it pretty far. I wish they had pushed it 20% further. There was I think it was Lord Miller put something out there, some interview I saw, where they said they had a scene written for this movie where, how this is all in Chattahoochee, right? Where they're shooting the music video for Alan Jackson's Chattahoochee, and the bear just rampages the set of the music video. Like, I wish they had gone that far with this movie. And the fact that those ideas were kind of thrown out there makes me think they were onto something, but it makes me also think like a studio wanted to make this a little more digestible, less shocking. The fact that this had a mother trying to find her kid's story at all disappointed me, Like, this is Cocaine Bear. And I thought all this stuff with Alden Ehrenreich and Ice Cube Jr. was fun. Obviously, our boy from The Wire is greatness when he pops up. And Kerry Russell, incredible. Like, I'm glad she was in the movie. Obviously would have taken the role if I was her. Margot Martindale. And then when this movie opened, guys, and the first thing we see is Matthew Rhys, I was like, oh my God, yes. Just kept that a secret. Like, I'm going to be the guy that falls out of the airplane. What a treasure. What an amazing guy to take that role. Carrie's probably like, yeah, would you do this? Like, hell yeah, I'll do it. It's one scene and he's dead on the ground. And the other one is he's sniffing cocaine in an airplane, partying at the beginning of the movie. So give me all the Matthew Rhys you got. So that was a fun little surprise at the beginning. But yeah, I would say I was entertained throughout. Short, little, fun. It leaned more into like horror than action comedy. Maybe that's another change I would have made. I would have leaned a little more into the action comedy. But man, there's some moments. I just wish there was maybe like 25% more moments. Like push it as far as you can. Why not? It's freaking Cocaine Bear. Maybe they will with Cocaine Bear too if they do another one of these or whatever.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, we should open a bar. The bear's like, we should open a bar. We could run it. Brian, what about you?
Yeah, man, I definitely get what you're saying, Kent. The mama bear thing was like, oh, okay, that's a little bit different from what I was expecting. But otherwise, I thought he did a pretty great job of... Because the other thing is, like, the bear doesn't look good, right? Like,
that was disappointing.
It cost $3 million.
So, if the movie's about the bear, make the bear look better.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that's like just the way that, like, we're gonna have to adjust, I think, on some of this stuff because I don't know what the budget is on this. I need to look it up, but
it's $30 million.
Okay, man, see, that bothers me a little. It feels less than that, but I think it's a huge win that this thing made $23 million, regardless of the budget. So,
Same.
So I think there's a certain amount of like, we're going to have to be cool with some special effects not looking as good anymore, because it just costs so much money, and we got to if we want movies that aren't superhero movies that cost $200 million, we're going to have to make some sacrifices somewhere. So like, that didn't bother me. I thought it was pretty smart then to turn the bear into the shark a little bit from Jaws, and just like have it pop out here and there, but keep the I thought it was a fun, like, it was the dread of when is the bear going to show up again is draped in like pretty funny dialogue and ridiculous situations, and Jesse Tyler Ferguson in a weird wig and all this kind of stuff. So I thought they did a really good. I thought Elizabeth Banks did a great job of keeping the energy without letting the bear become like you're right, Kent. Like, we could use more bear, sure. But I say that about every movie. And but it was a fun way. I think that bit could get tired really fast. And so having it be this sort of when is the bear going to come back kind of thing, I thought was pretty fun. And I thought it worked relatively well. And
I like that. I'm not saying
it's
more
attitude.
bear. I don't know. Maybe the bear moments just could have been pushed further.
Okay.
Just crazier. A little bit crazier. It seemed a little too realistic in my opinion. Maybe that's what they were going for. Like, this could have been how it happened or whatever, but show me the bear annihilating Alan Jackson in 1985. That, to me, that's that's the kind of ridiculousness I kind of expected. And I think the closest thing to that was the ambulance thing, obviously. I mean, that scene.
Sure.
That's what I paid to see. And then the ending, we can get there, but the ending gets very gory in a very satisfying way. So I think there was probably 3 moments, but give me 5. Give me a couple. Give me a couple more. Maybe there's an unrated version that they release or something. Yeah, this thing could have been pushed so much, and I think if it was, maybe it would have more legs.
Sure.
In my opinion.
Yeah, it hit the right marks for me.
Yeah.
I thought it was. I think that the bear thing could have gotten old without. Like, I really enjoyed Han Solo and O'Shea Jackson. I thought that sort of B plot and their back and forth was a lot of fun, with especially once they added in the other kid, the would-be attacker kind of guy.
Yeah, that was a fun twist. Was the 3 other dudes? Yeah.
I enjoyed. I thought they had a really fun little vibe and chemistry going on, and I would look at it this way. I would say you could do this movie 75 minutes and have it be all Cocaine Bear all the time, or you could do 90 minutes and actually have a couple of the side plot stories. I don't know if mean something is the right term, because none of this means anything, but at least have the side plot stories be entertaining and fun, and you kind of like the actors that are on screen and stuff like that. Like, if you're gonna go all in on fully in on Cocaine Bear, then I think that's like a 75-minute movie, not a 95-minute movie or whatever.
Sure.
So I kind of liked, if we're gonna go this route, we don't make 75-minute movies. If we're gonna go that route, then let's at least make some of this side stuff fun and enjoyable, and it was.
Yeah, I totally with you there. I definitely had an overall fun time with this. Richard, can we get into spoilers? I have a few things.
Yeah, by all means.
I want to ask you guys about. So, I don't know if this was a studio note, but the scene where the kids discover the cocaine, that could have set up for something real fun. Did they make it where, like, okay, you can't have kids tripping out on cocaine in a movie? Because there could have been a whole scene of them just like, what is happening, and hallucinating or whatever. Like, they could have made that a lot funnier. They were like, ew, that's gross or whatever. Like, that's as far as it got pushed. But yeah, I never really felt like the kids accidentally did cocaine, if that makes sense. Yeah. Not accidentally, but obviously we're trying it.
Yeah, you could have had like a 21 Jump Street scene there for sure.
Sure.
With them just going bonkers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if that was wondering what you guys thought, if it was Universal being like, you can't have these kids are 10 years old. Come on.
Yeah, probably.
Most of my scripts, I write, as you guys know, most of them have 10
Yeah, it's like that's the one note that you get every time. So you can't have the kids doing cocaine, Richard.
So
you just can't.
That's kind of a bummer to hear. for me, because you know me, I'm like I'm a big Larry Clark guy, you know, so that's my
Spy
guy.
Kids
You know,
could have been
all of our
awesome.
guys.
Could have been really good.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask about as well the Isaiah Whitlock character. I thought could use more of him in the movie. Thought he was great.
Yeah, he was fun.
I think he's always great. Was it setting up to you guys like, okay, this dog's gonna show up and just completely scare this bear away? That's what I thought it was setting it up for, right? Like, okay, nothing can stop this bear, and here comes this small, floofy dog, and then the bear's gonna run away, and the dog's gonna, like, the dog stuff. It was such a DCF plot in terms of like in this movie. Like, I thought it was setting up for like a big, oh, here's the reason the dog is here, and there never really was one.
Yeah. No, I could have seen that coming. Yeah. I was waiting for sort of the other shoe to drop,
reveal,
I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, with the dog bit, but you just get the dog eats
The dog gets adopted by what's her name at the end. That's really the only
Yeah.
shoe that drops.
You
there.
I was very nervous. Can't have, gotta have a happy ending for all dogs in film, or I'm out. That would knock it down 3 letter grades. That's a rule I have.
I thought Margot Martindale and Jesse Tyler Ferguson were hilarious together, though.
That was a fun
The
pair.
entire sequence inside the, I don't know what you want to call it, ranger station or whatever, was very well done.
He was really good in this. He's
Yeah.
someone that you think, okay, he's got his Modern Family money. I know he does a lot of theater, and so like maybe just goes and does that, and then you see him in something like this, kind of change my perspective on him. I know he hasn't really done a movie in like 9 years. I was seeing. I think it was like an Ice Age movie. But it's like, yeah, put Jesse Tyler Ferguson in more stuff, man. That guy
Man, he
was-
would be great in like Christopher Guest stuff,
Yeah,
wouldn't he?
totally.
Yeah,
would
for
love
sure.
that.
He was not a revelation to me because I've known and liked him for a long time, but in this, it was like a new way to look at him for sure. I wanted to talk to you guys. Is this this is a perfectly fine movie, real actors and a real story in addition to the sort of silly, coked up bear. Is this the future of the $30 million movie, though, in these kind of stunt movies? Because this is a stunt. I mean, it's called Cocaine Bear for a reason, to kind of get attention. Is there anything to be learned from the marketing of this movie?
I think the movie has to sell itself.
Yeah.
Really, I think this one
Wonder
sells
what week
itself.
2's gonna be
Title,
like.
trailer.
Very interested in week 2 for this, like what the drop off is.
Yeah, I mean, Creed's going to come in and
True.
hopefully make a decent amount of money. But I could see this hanging at 2 and Ant-Man dropping to the 3rd or 4th spot or something. The Jesus movie ate up some of the box office money this week, but I don't think that those two movies were
I double featured it.
up against each other so much. So.
I canceled my tickets for Jesus Revolution and
Okay.
Cocaine Bear,
Good, like a good Christian. Yeah,
like I did on the Sabbath too.
Yes. Yeah.
What's pretty impressive about this too is that it was theatrical. I mean, I'm sure they'll put it on Peacock or whatever as soon as possible. But
Cocaine-
the fact
Cocaine
that
Plus.
this was $30 million and they were like, nope, theatrical only. They've already made that back. That was pretty smart. Like, they can spend $30 million all day on streaming exclusives and not bat an eye. So the fact that this was a go see it with people experience was encouraging for like low to mid budget movies.
Yeah, for sure.
I
Yeah,
just
I
wonder,
think it's
though,
a
if this
great
is
thing
like-
that this movie made the money that it did. I think that's
Me
a
too.
huge,
I love it.
huge win.
But
I agree. I think it was a big success, but I can't believe it didn't make more. Like, I thought the hype was huge going in. Like, I thought they couldn't have had a better run up to release day in terms of like the buzz.
I just don't think unless there's a cape, you're getting past 30
Yep.
million anymore. But I don't know how like replicable this is because I really think if this same movie is out and it's like Bear Attack, it makes like $11 million. There's something about the pop of that title and that idea. So yeah, I mean, I already saw the Sharknado people are doing like methed up alligator or something for real. Like I think on Sci-Fi this summer, which would be funny. It's just
I'm
an
in.
alligator on meth. I know.
Is that really methed up
I saw-
alligator?
It's like meth alligator for sure. I mean, it's very Sharknado-y and supposed to be, meth gator.
I'm in.
Yeah, I know. I'm 100% in. But yeah, I just don't know how. I think it might be as we kind of figure out what the future of theatrical is. I don't know how many of these there are. But what does this make you think of? Like you said, Ken, I mean, they made very clear that this was, I know Elizabeth Banks didn't write this. I think it was kind of a spec script. I don't think
it was. The writer said he read about this story of the guy that fell out of the plane and the fact that they never found the cocaine, and essentially, came up with the story and then pitched it to his family at like Thanksgiving dinner, and just started telling them his story about this cocaine bear. And he said they went nuts, and that's when he made it a script.
Yeah.
When it was like, my grandparents wanted to see this. That's when I knew it had potential. So
it's funny. So what does this make you think of Banks going forward as a director?
There's no real way to tell. Is she going to be a director for hire? Is she going to produce stuff and then choose if I want to direct it, which seems like it may be the case here, unless Lord and Miller approached her to do this.
It's interesting to juxtapose it against like Olivia Wilde, right?
I mean, they're going for like
the same era.
Her and Greta,
very different things.
They're going for like, I'm an auteur. This is my style. Like, I think Elizabeth Banks just wants to direct movies, wants to have a good time, wants to be with people she enjoys. So I think that's where her mind's at. We'll see where she goes from here. I mean, I think she has potential. This was well directed, I thought. Same. So I think she can go kind of any direction. She wants to go franchises. She could do that and latch on to, a Pitch Perfect type franchise, or she could, direct Little Women if she wanted to. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not out on her.
Yeah. I mean, this is a well-directed movie. I'm not sure that it's like a major showcase for what you can do, but I mean, I think that she will continue to get as many she'll get a lot of opportunities. She deserves them. This is really good. This is really well directed. This could be really crappy. It could be self-serious. It could have been overloaded. There's a lot of mistakes that could have been made. In some ways, you look at this, you're like, this is an easy movie to make in some ways. But then, I don't know. I step back and I say, no, I think there's a lot of things that could have gone wrong here for this to become something that it's not. And so I appreciate what she did here. So yeah, I think this, between this and the Pitch Perfect, and she, like you said, Richard, she's a very valuable producer too, and I'm interested to see what she does next. It'd be interesting to see her follow this up with something that has a little more weight to it, or is a little bit more serious. But maybe that's not what she would be good at. I don't know. I think that she has. I think she's got a few more movies before we maybe really even know who or what she is as a director. But I'm interested in what she's going to do and what that voice is.
Same. All right, cool. So should we grade this out?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, I'll kick us off here. I'm going to go with a B-. Kent, what about you?
I was going to go B to B+ range, so I'll go B+.
Nice. Brad guy?
Yeah, I'm definitely higher. I think, like, it's hard to say, is this even a good movie? But man, I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was a really good time at the movies, and so I'm gonna go A. I'll go A-. I'm not really sure if that'll come up or down through the course of the year, but it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I think it was just exactly what it said it was going to be. I like that too.
Love it. All right, cool.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Man fam, something I learned recently that's helped me out a lot is that it's okay to share your feelings. Yeah, we don't really get serious on this show very often, but it's okay to feel stressed, to feel overwhelmed, and to feel like you need someone to talk to. Getting to know yourself can be a lifelong process, especially because we're always growing and changing. Therapy is all about deepening your self-awareness and understanding, because sometimes we don't know what we want or why we react the way we do until we talk it through. So BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who can take you on that journey of self-discovery from wherever you are. We're big proponents on Mad About Movies of you staying connected with yourself and making sure that you can accomplish every goal that you've set for yourself in life. Therapy is a great way to do that. If you've been thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire, get matched with a licensed therapist, and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. So discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com betterhelp.com/madaboutmovies today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/madaboutmovies.
Well, that was Cocaine Bear. It feels like that one's been a long time in the works. But let's kick it on over for a weekly recommend.
Weekly recommends.
Kent, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I'm going to recommend, I don't know if it could be considered junk TV, but certainly reality TV. I don't know if you guys are in on this at all. We've never talked about it. I talked about it at dinner with some coworkers because I've caught myself watching it at hotels the past couple of trips. You guys into Bar Rescue at all?
I've watched it a bit here and there.
Yeah, I've seen it in hotel rooms and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big Kitchen Nightmares guy. I love a reinvention of a restaurant show, and this one is ridiculous. And then you add on my wife being in the bar industry, and so her commentary on some of these just complete catastrophes of bartenders and bars makes it all more entertaining with her commentary. So if you want a fun reality show that's condensed, single stories, easy to follow, Bar Rescue. It's where they take failing bars and try to make them not fail. Pretty easy. So check that out. Bar Rescue on Paramount Network.
Boom.
Sweet.
Brian, what about you, man?
Recommend a TV show over on the Lasso Plus that's actually from the Lasso team, so it fits quite well. Have you guys watched Shrinking yet?
I haven't. My wife and I have been doing we just finished a How I Met Your Mother rewatch, and I just needed a little Jason Segel break. So I'll probably watch it in like a month or two.
For sure.
Nothing against him. I've just seen 250 episodes of him over the last
Segel.
4 months.
Yeah. It's Segel, it's Harrison Ford. There's some other familiar faces that pop up here and there throughout, and it is about Segel plays a shrink who is breaking his own personal life is terrible and awful, and his wife recently died and all this sort of stuff. And so his big breakthrough is that he starts telling his patients the truth and encouraging them to make real choices instead of just kind of listening and helping them work through things slowly. And it's fun. It's it fits right in line with Ted Lasso and Scrubs and the other Bill Lawrence stuff. And I love Jason Segel. Harrison Ford's really fun, and it's a role that's written for him specifically. It's very a cantankerous old man who's has a heart of gold kind of thing, which is what he's great at this point. And it's really fun. Some episodes are very emotionally difficult, and some of them are just stupid fun, but it's very well done. It's probably, I think it's 7 episodes into 10 episode season, so we're coming around to the end of it here. But I've enjoyed it quite a bit. It's very well done.
Great. Well, I am going to recommend a show that's back for its 10th season this year. Hard to believe. Just came back last week, and that's Last Week Tonight with John Oliver.
Nice.
One of my favorite shows ever. Always makes me laugh. Always makes me think. And love John Oliver. And so just an easy once a week kind of recap with a deep dive, and very funny. And the Jim Cramer bit this week talking about his Baroni suits or whatever killed me. So always good for about 5 LOLs a show, which is a pretty high rate. So Last Week Tonight, John Oliver.
The one I will recommend on that, I don't know if it's from this last season, but he did a deep dive on Ticketmaster like a few years ago on why all the fees happen and stuff. That's very informative. If you're curious about this Ticketmaster case and the Taylor Swift drama and all that, he dove pretty deep into why Ticketmaster is the way it is. So, that's a side recommend. YouTube that one. I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube. Ticketmaster, John Oliver. There you go.
Love it. All right, well, this was Cocaine Bear with some weekly recommends. Good to be back with everyone. Brian, happy birthday once again. You were such a serious and lovely man.
Thanks.
I adore you. But we'll see you next week, and before then, hopefully we'll see you at the cinema.
Hey baby, I hear the blues are calling. Tossed salads and scrambled eggs.
And maybe I seem a bit confused. Yeah, maybe, but I got you pegged. But I don't know what to do with those tossed salads and scrambled eggs. They're calling again. Scrambled eggs all over my face.
They're making me higher. The salads and scrambled eggs.
They're calling again.